Hi guys, it's Jamie here. So I did a masterboard project 2 days ago, so we are about to go back in time on this video. And as a result of the masterboard project, I ended up making a lot of different style of tags. Now, because I videoed over 2 days, I may say things in the video that I can't edit out that then weren't relevant because I changed my mind, and as it turned out I ended up doing lots of different styles, and you will see those in the video that's about to follow. Before we get to that, I upload videos 5 to 7 times a week depending on how long they take me to make, and if you want fresh regular content, please subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you see the new stuff coming up. Plenty in the playlists already that you can go back and have a look through, and those links are in the description. Also, don't forget to give me a thumbs up because it helps others see this video and potentially subscribe, and comment to let me know what you think of this video or others in the playlist. And now we're going to go back in time. I've just realised that my subscriptions have gone over 400. I started this channel 2.5 months ago, so I'm really excited. And therefore I thought I'd better get going with a prize at 500 subscribers. What I've decided to do, because I've already done some activities using old book pages, which you'll find in the playlist, I'm going to create a old book page journal, which will be a giveaway at 500 subscribers. So don't forget, if you're interested in that, to subscribe and like this video so others see it, and comment. The quicker we get to 500 subscribers, the quicker I do the prize draw and set the competition rules, and whatever else I'm going to do. Anyway, I'm going to start with, everyone knows at the moment who's watching this channel that I'm a bit obsessed with masterboards. So I'm going to start with doing a masterboard for the book page journal. I'm also going to use some of these collage template ideas. Now, the masterboard will be cut down into book tags and pockets and things for the journal anyway. So I'm not sure how the idea of using a collage template will work, but we're going to just do this process together and see what happens and see if we like it or not. I'm going to ink these edges now in the black. Most of you do know about inking and how to ink, but for those who don't, very, very quickly, just get some ink on a dibby dobber dabber thing. I'm never sure what they're actually called. And then just run it round the edge of the page. I'm going to do that on all of these and then come back and lay them across this. And I do like to treat my masterboards a bit like art journaling. So hopefully by the end it's going to look nothing like it does currently. Cover this free magazine that came through the door with the book page. Try and get it so it's not too wrinkly, but it doesn't really matter. And you can go either way with the writing, and I probably will, and just get this covered as quickly as possible. It's that idea that I always talk about, which is when you cover something, you're more inclined then to be able to do the second stage. Even though this isn't a blank page, it still is. It's not your work. So it's like being faced with a white page to me. And I hate being faced with a white or plain black page. I like something on there to begin with, even if you end up not being able to see it through the end result. To me, that's unimportant. It just gets me going. So if you've never tried that, do try that. If you struggle with collaging and ideas, try just covering something with something really basic like scraps of paper, book pages, whatever it might be, and then see how you feel about what you do next. The next thing I'm going to do is to knock some of this print back using some white gesso. Again, if you've been following me or subscribed, you know that I do this quite regularly. So we're just knocking it back a bit. And obviously where I'm trying to do more of a black and white theme journal with the book pages, where these book pages are old, this is actually bringing up some white into it as well. Hi guys, I'm really sorry. I stepped away from this for a whole day because if I'm going to do it as a giveaway, I want it to work in a journal. And I love this, but then I was kind of confused as to what to do next because I wanted to stick with a black and white theme. So I've dug out these stickers and I did consider just sticking them down. But then I thought, no, I want more text on here as well. This is just to get me a base for the tags, and I could leave it at this and cut it up, but I think I'll get a more interesting result if I do some stamping and add that first. So I've got lots and lots of script stamps, so I'm just going to stamp up a lot of these script stamps. You don't need to see me do all of that. I'll do a couple. Trying to keep the stages relatively short for you so that you're not watching boring stuff basically. But I put these new nails on and of course now I can't open anything. Right, what I do want is a slightly softer surface for stamping, so I'm hoping my cutting board is around somewhere. Someone recommended that on my channel, that if I wanted to get better quality stamping, to stamp onto a slightly softer surface than the desk, and it worked. So thank you for that tip. I don't know who that was, but thank you, because I'm not above and beyond getting lots of tips, I can tell you that much. Now I was originally going to stamp this straight onto here, but I've just and I'm still I don't know, should I try that first? Maybe I should try that first. Let's just try stamping it straight on here, and if I don't like the result, then we know that I'm going to stamp it on extra, but I might like it. You never know. Well, apart from the fact it's upside down, I might like it. Okay, well, it doesn't matter that it's upside down. Actually, that kind of works. Have I done it the right way up this time, or is it still upside down? Who knows? I think that's still upside down. Well done. Maybe I should just turn the whole thing around, and then the majority of the background prints upside down, but then that bit's the right way up. I don't know. Yeah, let's just do whatever at this point. Let's try again. It's sort of working, isn't it? Putting this over that. I think it does kind of work, so I think that's okay actually. And like I say, you don't need to be around for all of this because it's going to get a little boring. But yeah, okay. I'm going to cover this in different scripts and come back. Okay guys, before I cut this into tags and potential journaling cards, I just wanted to show you the finished result. It actually turned out, and my hands, it actually turned out better than I was expecting when I started it. So I was like, I'd put a few on and was thinking, I don't know if this is working. But actually, I quite like it. It's background at the end of the day. So I'm going to cut it up and then we're going to decorate them. This has been cut up into various little tags because I've had an idea for a project. So I didn't want big journaling cards. I have got a couple here. So there's lots and lots of these little tags, and then we've got some slightly bigger journaling cards which may or may not fit the new project, but if they don't, I can use them for something else. And then 1/2 potential just page borders. What I'm going to do next is using a watercolor pencil, which I don't know that I've got. Hold on a second. Using a watercolor pencil, I'm probably going to make it damp actually, but I was just going to go round this circle here to highlight it a little bit on each of the tags. Now I am going to wet it though. I've got my usual painting, stamping, whatever you want to call it, paper. I'm just going to wet the pencil. I might even just wet the paper actually, it might be easier. Get the pencil wet, go round the edge of this tag here just to make it stand out a bit. It doesn't have to be evenly gone round, and you can see it isn't. Let that dry, and then I'm going to ink the edges as well of all these tags, and then we're ready to decorate them with whatever we want really. With all of them I'm going to do this and also do this. I may even round some of these ends. Hi guys, it's the next morning. This took a very, very long time. And as you can see, I've ended up with a lot of tags, a couple of big journaling cards, and even a page border, or possibly two, depending on the size of the journal. I've backed most of them and inked the edges, and with these punched out the holes. And actually I think that's quite cute because, as you know, I was watercolouring pencil this, but where I put the backing paper on, when I punched out the hole, it left a little internal circle, and I think that actually makes it stand out even more. So what I've decided to do is I'm actually going to do a variety of different collages on top of the collage background paper. We might be using some of these templates just for placement ideas, you know, what's going to work. I'm probably going to add some extra words, but make them pop out by maybe using a different color, or backing the, you know, doing a black word on a white background on a black piece of card so that it's mounted and layered. But let's just work on what we've got. I'll show you what I've started to do, and I'm going to do one in a different colour, so you're not going to miss out on the technique. But I took some of these stickers and then, using a nail file, as you do, went round the edge to rough it up a bit because it's glossy, and then used the watercolour pencil to black out the edge, which is grey normally. Let me find one that hasn't been done. Sort of a whitey grey normally. I didn't want to have to recut it because it's quite strong cardboard. And then I've just used an ink pad to go around the very, very tips of that, just to make sure no white card showing through. And I thought that gave it enough of a pop against this background. Or potentially I could get a piece of red card. I might do that actually, and then cut an extra edge and just see how that looks. Maybe do that. Maybe we could try rubbing one down and actually doing this bit in red with a different watercolour pencil. So maybe we'll do that in a minute. You could put another something under her. I'm not sure what though. Like if you put some gold under her and then cut that again. Yeah, I quite like that actually. It makes her stand out a bit. So I'm going to glue her on here, recut her out, and then stick her down and let that dry. I'm also thinking that I might do some words on the computer and print them up. And I'm going to do some different themes. So I'm going to do some general ones like this, but I might also do some autumn ones, that type of thing. Maybe even a book lover, journal reader type theme. In fact, I might have some stickers on that already that I've already printed up. Like good read, good books. This is quite nice, isn't it? That might go on one. I'll cut that out while that dries actually. When I cut out stickers, in case you've not seen me do this, what I tend to do is cut them like they're a commercial sticker. So in other words, I don't try to cut right up to the lines, but like these, I leave a little border as I cut. And I think that just A, saves me time in fussy cutting, and B, just makes it look like something you might have bought. Not that things have to look like there's something you might have bought. In fact, in a way, they're better if they look like you've made them. But it does save, as you can see, a little bit of time in the old cutting. I think that's actually quite nice. I might, should I edge it with some black? Probably make it pop more. Let's have a quick look while she dries. Where can I put this one? I think this is going to have to go on a big one as well. But if I put that on there, it probably does need a bit of an edge, doesn't it? I'm wondering if I will get a better edge if I do just use the watercolour pencil rather than, let me just grab something I can draw on, rather than the black ink. This is it with the circle of red, but I'm honestly not sure about that. So what I'm going to do is very similar to here, and that is stick it on the red and then cut round it again so that it has a small red border, and see how that looks. So this one I think I'm going to stick down and potentially put a word across the base here. Maybe you can you cut her off there? I'm just trying to see what, that kind of works. if she's cut off at the base and then we do a word across the top, I think that's where I'm going to place her then. You have now got this very, very thin layer of red in the background, and I did have that red circle, but I still don't think it'll work even with the red background. It might do if you put it behind just the coffee cup. I don't know, it's a bit odd, but by itself I'm not sure there's enough to that by itself. In fact, it goes off that one. I wonder if I've got a slightly bigger one. Maybe I've got another sticker to do with reading that might work. Right, I think I may have come up with a solution, which is to use the circle with that quote over it and then have this to this side with the red background, so you're linking the two reds, and potentially even to outline this very, very inner edge with a matching red watercolour. Right, the most similar colour I can find is this one called Passion Fruit, which doesn't actually look red, but when you wet it down, it is kind of red, and it does seem to be as close a match as I can get to that. Right, wish me luck with doing this. So the idea is to go round the edge of this where it's already been blackened, which will make it dark anyway, and throw a bit more of a reddy tone border on it. Actually, I quite like that. That makes it pop, doesn't it? Do you want to do it round this? I mean, I've already put a red border on it, of course. But I suppose you could just... oh, why not? Let's just risk it. That works quite well, so I'm going to do the same on this one. I know it's very repetitive then. Had a quick break, got a coffee with me. I have decided against that first quote, but I found in some very old cardstock these. So I thought B for books, love heart, love books, that type of thing. Have the red background and then put that there. And I think that works. And then with this one, on those book stickers that I had already printed up, I've cut her off, by the way, and just roughed up the edge with the old nail file and just redone that with the watercolour pencil at the bottom. And then I found that little quote which fitted beautifully, so although I don't really understand the quote in comparison to her, light when it's got a gold background, so we're going to go with that. So that will be 2 of the journaling cards done. Because I said we'd try it with a different colour, this is what I did to rough up the edge of this, was just use the edge of a, and obviously it does end up going onto the picture slightly, but use the edge of a nail file or an emery board, whatever you call them, and just take off that shine and actually make it a bit scratchy. And I don't think it matters if you slightly scratch up the edge of the picture as well, because that just ages it a little. So we're just gonna go around the edge. Now it's not going to go around it perfectly, you know, there'll be bits of white showing through, but it's going to give it a different look. I've had a little route around and I found this old stock that I had, which I'd labelled Royal. Don't know why, but anyway, found this old stock and it's got the green that I've outlined here, or very similar, and some words. So what I thought I would do is put this together to make 2 things that go together, so a tag and also a journaling card, and then put them together like that. We're going to try and arty this up a little bit. So I've got the Distress ink here in the green and a bit of a sponge, and as you know, I tend to put this on too heavy, so I'm going to just get rid of a lot first and then just tap it around some of this Right, let's get that watercolour pencil that I was using. Spraying it onto the Distress ink as well. Pencil, just put it here. I'm just going to sort of scribble, but the reason for scribbling is because, well, there is no reason. I'm going to try spraying it and then seeing if I can get it to dribble. Interestingly, I might not be able to. Under there, where it's white. I'll just see if what happens if we put that on when it's wet, as well as try a different ink colour. Just trying to make a slightly different look. Let's try a bit of the vintage photo. It's quite brown. Maybe I want more brown on that. It's looking very green, isn't it? Let's get a different Distress. I don't have many. The only other one I've got is this espresso. Slightly grungier look, definitely. And then maybe we just need to get the watercolour pencil in a brown. I don't want it quite so green, so I'm going to play a bit. So do a line with the very watery pencil, and then get the watery pencil with the brush. Seems to get the effect that I was looking for. Then of course we've still got to let that dry and then get the word on there. I'm quite like that. So to match this one with this one, because I wanted to make a pair, I'm going to have to do more or less the same thing, I think, while that one dries off, which was distressing this label. Okay, happy with that. And then with this one, although it's a flower, I think I'll just get a little bit of this and pull it through. What I might do is, you got this, I wonder if we can, instead of having it green, go in with the brown over those lines. Okay, I'm happy with that. Let's dull that down. Now I'm just going to use vintage photo. It's not quite dry yet, but around the edges of everything. As you can see, that's, hopefully you can see, that's giving it quite a beautiful patinaed effect. Just got to wait for it to dry, glue it all together, bring it all together, and then you can see the finish of that one. Right, so I found this pumpkin image for the autumn one, but it's not as orange as I would like. So guess what I'm going to do? Add some water and use a pencil and a brush. Here's some orange. Let's have a look. I think that looks better though. While that dries, I think we should do a little bit of stamping. Say the word fall. I know that's American and I'm not. Now let's have a think. It's definitely going to have a homemade look. Don't know how that fall really goes. I think it's because probably needs, that's not going to work, is it? What am I doing? What am I doing? Okay, that'll do. That can be stuck on, and that is basically that one done. I've also got a pumpkin leaf, which could just go on a tag. What I might do this time is glue this down first and then paint it. I don't even know if this is in camera shot at the moment. Anything that's not in camera shot, I'm just going to have to edit out. And then let that dry and cut that out, and then add it to that. What else did I do? I did cut some more stuff out. Okay, I cut out an owl and the word tawny owl, and then a description of the tawny owl and where it can be found in Britain. And I thought the back of the tag we could actually put some of the detail, the learning stuff, and the front we could just put the owl on. That is actually a really quick one. And just put a label there. Okay guys, that's the next three. So you have the revitalized pumpkin one, the owl and the pumpkin leaf, and a little stamped frame, and then the stamped word fall again. I've just started working on this one, which was from the sticker paper, water coloured over that. Put that number down, which was part of the pumpkin handout, printable download. Thought I'd put that there because it's just like a little quote. Potentially put something in that corner, but I don't know yet whether I will or not. I think it needs something there. I'll find something to fit in that corner. Found this really cute kingfisher in a book, and so I'm just going to stick him on here. I think he goes a little bit quite well with the quote anyway, which says, if you were always trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be. So I think that looks quite nice. And that's another one done. Do for a different look again, have these pin-up girl stickers I quite like. And I do have these, which I think you could put as background behind the pin-up girl. I'm going to cut everything out and then we can lay it up together and see how it looks. I'm thinking of laying it down something like that. So you've got the pin-up girl, a little phrase that says be bold, a little stripe and a circle. That's a journaling card done in the style of a pin-up girl. Next I'd like to do some relatively quick horror ones. What I'm trying to avoid getting the paints out. Might need to put some purpley colour into that. Blue. Got a blue. Just darken it down. And if I can get that so it will actually flick. Yeah, just. We have things like these stickers that are just skeleton-y type skull. You can just about see the red on that. I could put that down and then maybe stamp down the word skull or horror or something like that. I'm trying to work out which print you could possibly get. That one. And then I wish I could get this to splatter better. Got a fingerprint, a skull and some red blood splatter. So what I've done is I've just stamped up a couple of little stamps, mounted them on black card, and I'm debating whether to leave them black and white or colour them. I think I'm going to leave them black and white because this would normally be yellow, and if I was going to colour this I'd colour it red. But actually I think black and white might be classier. And then this happened to be on the piece of cardstock that I cut this from, and I thought, well, it's a cute little extra decoration, so I'm going to stick that down as well. And then that will be the horror themed ones done, and the first bit for my daughter's huge horror movie journal that she wants me to make her. That's the horror ones done, 3 tags and 1 journaling card, and they're a mixture of stamps and stickers and the masterboard. The only thing left from that masterboard now that I can see are the 2 page borders or potentially belly bands. I know what I'm going to do with these. I'm going to do a series of poison bottles as stamps on both of them, and one will probably end up being a page border and one will end up being a belly band for Helena's horror journal. But to be honest with you, it is already late. It's the end of day 2 with this masterboard. I do want to get on and do the mini junk journal project for you and make that and get that up, and this needs editing, so I'm going to leave that. You will see it perhaps in the horror themed journal playlist when I put that together, and you've seen quite a few anyway. So if you have enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Don't forget that you can subscribe for fresh daily content. Try to keep things varied and interesting, and don't forget to let me know what you think. And I will see you next time.